Detective Comics 1029.
Yes, Tomasi writing and Kent Rocafort on art, which, not that bad. And as pairings go, I will say, just on the cover, I know we don't really talk about covers very much, barring the end section of the show, but this cover either is giving away a plot that's coming up, or it's an active spoiler of the identity of a new character, and I'm not sure which it's supposed to be. Basically, there's a new villain called the Mirror. Visually, think the guy in the Watchmen TV show.
Yeah.
But instead of just the face, it's all over. And the issue opens with him giving a big monologue, saying, I want to be a mirror to Gotham, and I want you to all see that we the citizens of Gotham, not the vigilantes. It's just another anti-vigilante person, but he's wearing a mask, and it is it's a whole thing.
Credibility questionable.
Yeah. And he has a whole thing where he introduces the recently wounded police officer Nakano, who's running for mayor, is using the unmasked war cry as his platform. But even there, not, I don't know if he's saying that they can't be trusted, or if his endorsements. It's not very clear what his mission statement is here. But what I'm getting at is Nakano is this mayor we meet later in the issue. Now, I don't know if they've been in the run previously, and there's just stuff I've not read, but I get enough here to get a grasp. They have an eye patch. I think the impression is they lost their eye during the Joker War with stuff that went on, and now basically they're saying, Joker War is, this city got out of hand. We need to be anti-vigilante, anti-mask. We need to kind of curb down and get this back to being a normal city, basically. But like I say, the eye patch is the defining feature. The reason I say the cover is a potential spoiler is because the cover is this new character, the Mirror, sitting on a chair, lounging around like a throne style chair, holding the eye patch, and and saying who's next. So the impression is either they took out the mayor, which I'm pretty sure doesn't happen in this issue. There is an attempted hit, but it doesn't seem to be from the Mirror. It seems unrelated, or is supposed to tell us that he is the Mirror, and is one and the same. I don't know exactly, but it was a weird link. But most of the issue, we got Bruce. He's basically this is where he's just lost Wayne Manor. He's lost all his money. He's packing up his belongings. He's wrapping up all his family photos, putting them in bubble wrap and everything. And his big problem is he can't bring himself to take down the photos of him and Alfred, because all the ones of his parents, whether they're down, he's boxing them up, no real problem. But the ones with Alfred, the ones on the mantelpiece, it's like, no, do you know what? I not today. I'm putting it off for another day. I can't. I'm not. He's not ready to do that yet. Which it makes sense. There is then he goes out. Oh, perfect, Batman time. I can distract myself. And so off he goes out, And,
I love the idea of Bruce just finishing his day and going, all right, it's Batman time, rubbing his hands together.
No, genuinely, like, this is the narration. He goes, hate to say it, but I'm glad night's falling. I can use the distraction of the streets. It really does feel like, oh, great, Batman time. And he goes off out on the bike, and there's some just the usual cops shooting some rubber. He gets involved, try and get in the way, but someone shoots at his bike and takes out his front tire. And it's pretty extreme. I do have an art question here. The sniper that's shooting, it looks like he's either shooting a bullet that is insanely long, because we see the physical bullet. It's like more of a rod that it's firing. It almost looks like it's the front of the barrel being fired off. That's what it looks like. And I don't know if it's just a weird art thing, because on impact, I can't see the rod. I don't know if that's there or not, or if it's a weird just thing in that one panel. It stuck out to me, though. But you just have a nice little action sequence of Batman going and taking down these guys in the car as they're escaping in the commotion. Some very awkward dialogue. Basically, Batman gets into the front seat, throws the driver out, and he's driving. There's still two other guys in the back, and they've got the gun. They literally shoot him in the back of the head at point blank range like 6 times, and it does nothing. And he's like, "Oh, shooting the back of my head at that close range, that makes me mad." I really didn't like that dialogue, like actual dialogue from Batman there, and then there's an awkward bit where I feel like there's a miscommunication from the script to the art because they did, or just a lack of trust in the art showing it properly, because he starts tilting it, he starts tilting the front seat back, and it's just one short panel of this happening. But while he's doing it, one of the goons literally goes, "Hey, he's tilting the seat back. Look out!" I'm like, well, that's really clunky and awkward. Just show us him tilting the seat. And then as he tilts back, so picture Batman lying backwards essentially at this point with the two goons behind him, and he shoots the ears off the cowl, one into each of them, well, one in the shoulder and one in the other guy's hand, to make them drop their weapons. And yeah, not sure I like that. That's a bit weird. But yeah, the action half the issue's over. He decides he wants to look into this guy running for mayor, Nakano. He wants to know what's he going to be like, especially with this anti-vigilante thing that he's running. So they're holding a big gala on a big cruise liner, usual money-making charity nonsense. But as they're doing it, there's a hit squad comes on board. They come on presumably to take out Nakano, is the impression. And maybe this is the Mirror that's organized it, and that's supposed to be the hint of the cover. I don't really know. But Bruce tries not to get too involved. There's a bit of a distraction, so he manages to throw an apple at the back of one of their heads. But he's like, "Come on, I need backup." And Nightwing shows up, takes him down. Nakano's like, "Screw you! Didn't need your help anyway." It's like, the only reason they exist is because you exist anyway. So it's all your fault, really. And that's about it. Just again, really reinforcing his position. And then the final cliffhanger: Bruce gets back to the cave. He's like, "That's not how I leave my chair." He's like, "I always leave it." He literally goes. He comes down. He goes, "My chair. I always leave it angled at 4 o'clock. Someone's been here and has been looking through my black casebook." And then he opens the book and he goes, "The pages, they're empty. This isn't the casebook." He's like, "There's only one other person other than Alfred who knew where this was locked and could get in here undetected. What's your next move, Damien?" And it's like, okay, so that's what we're doing next. There's Damien's stolen the casebook and is going to do stuff.
That's a funny cliffhanger. I'll look at that.
It is.
Honestly, my favorite part of that entire thing is I'm watching Matt look at the time because he's wanting to go watch his football game in like 5-10 minutes.
I know.
And Connor's the bad guy who's just going on and on and on.
I know. But there are very 3 clearly defined sections to this issue. You got the intro,
I know.
You've got the action, and you got the cliffhanger.
And I know it's Patreon, so you feel like the person that
Yeah.
You want to give them their money. I get it, but A, I also have to use the bathroom, and B, I'm brushing up against the time.
I know. I'm aware of it. We're good. But this is literally the end of the issue. Yeah, it's kind of fine. It's really dense. Dialogue feels weird. More Bruce's voice feels off, which is weird given that it's Tomasi.
It's Tomasi. Yeah.
And that's weird because he's wrote Bruce for years with no problem. Overall, it's like a 6.
It's Batman time. That's pretty funny. All right.
He leaves his chair at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.